Devon Koi Pond and a midweek video. What could have happened to make me do a midweek video? We had a little bit of happening this morning, but I've got a video for you. Before we get into that, if you're not subscribed, get down here, smash that subscription button, give a thumbs up if you like me videos. If you don't like me videos, give a thumbs down. Thumb either way, fantastic. But I got up this morning, looked out the window, my God, load of water missing out the pond. Now it's on a half gravity, half pump fed system. It can only drop so far, but it dropped down to the level where it couldn't draw any more water on the gravity to the vortex. Come rushing down, and here's what happened. So let's go over to that.
Where are you going, Riri? Riri? Riri, what's going on? Martin's had a nervous breakdown this morning.
Smoking for 3.
He's lost smoking for 3.
I haven't lost any weight, but thinking I have.
He's lost about a foot out of his pond.
No, 8-10 inches, something like that.
He's lost 8 to 10 inches of water out of his pond overnight. And he's having a bit of a stressful morning. He's been smoking and swearing. He didn't feed the cats.
To phrase it up in one sentence.
Cock. Why are you doing it like that?
Because then I can easily measure a bit of this when I put it in.
James's bucket is becoming very handy this morning. That bucket's a good bucket, isn't it?
It is a good bucket.
Thank you, James from Koi Whisperer.
Thank you.
James the Koi Whisperer, thank you for the bucket.
Still got my slippers on.
Martin's still in his slippers. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
I'm doing it in the bucket so I can add some dechlorinator as I go, because I'm rattling it through the dechlorinator so fast. I thought about cutting just today as well. 2 of them suck themselves right across the top of the pipe. It was enough to block it up. It pumps itself until the bottom drain ain't covered anymore in the tank. So we had the perfect storm here this morning.
You know what, that woke me up faster than cats fighting.
Yeah, perfect storm this morning. Came down, had a blockage in the veg filter. The big lily leaves had got themselves across on top of the outlets there. Blocked up 2 or 3 of them. I've got 4 in there, but I need at least 3 of them going to be able to run the water back. And at least enough was blocked for it to overfill the veg filter and for me to lose this much water. Got up this morning, come down, looked out, oh my God, the pond's down. Come rushing down here, only to find this. You got the pond level down, good 7-8 inches, absolutely terrible. Lost 7-8 inches of water overnight. Panic, what you call the perfect storm. Combination of things, and this is what happens. This is the most water I can lose out of the pond in one go. Absolutely catastrophe as far as I'm concerned. I've lost that amount of water. I'm topping back up at the moment. Happily using James's bowl here, pulling that one to about 3 parts, putting a bit of dechlorinator in it, and then tipping that in. I reckon this is going to take me 6-7 hours to refill quickly, or maybe 10 hours probably on the trickle. But I can't run the bottom drain at the moment because that's the level that the water will fall down to if something like this happens. They get over to the point where it gets below that pipe on the bottom drain, and then it'll stop. It's already dropped below the level that the skimmer will pull. So that's the amount of water I've lost, the depth of this one. When I get it up above the exit pipe here again, I can run the bottom drain up. I think the filters weren't running in the night for an hour, a couple of hours, 3 hours at the outside. So I need to get it back up to that level. On a bottom drain pond, this is about the worst that can happen to you. If you're pump fed, it can be even worse than this. You can pump the pond dry down until the pump can't find any more water. And that happened to me when I had the pond down the bottom of the garden once, and I put a float switch on. Now with this, you don't really need a float switch. You only get half a heart attack when you see that this has happened. But I'm going to have to sort something. I planned for this in case it ever happened. That this was the most water I could ever lose, and I've lost it. But I'm going to do something with a float switch on this and an alarm. So, a little time later, starting to get there on just chucking in an emergency amount. I've got the filters rerunning as soon as I came down. I'm lucky like that on the skimmer, because I can take that skimmer basket off, and then it goes straight out the pipe. So I'm back up and got water going through the filter system. I just need to get the water just above the bottom drain level, and I'm can back up and start running the bottom drain again. Fish seem okay with it, but they had a bit of a shock in the night. So at the moment, still topping up this bowl, adding dechlorinator to it. So I'm running really fast through my dechlorinator. It's a lot of water. I've got the hose going full bore at the moment in there, and I've got 6 cartridges. Got 3 cartridge packs on the water that I've got coming down the hose. But even on full bore, they won't strip all the chlorine out of that. So I'm adding a dechlorinator to it, which I always keep on hand, just in case. On the emergency fill, I've got to get up above this pipe, up to the level of where the little white bleeder comes out of there. So I'll get another 2 inches in there, and I can fire up the bottom drain. But, this here's the culprit, and it's my fault. I should have sorted this and cut these away from here. I'll let them get up on it. They wrap themselves around the pipes for enough to make the flow back up and overfill this tank. Gets up to the lip of it, and then the water can get in underneath, and that's what's happened. Terrible. The 4th pipe here is normally a well safety measure. That one's at the moment just got a pipe through this tank, and goes into the filter higher up to give a better head of water to push through the veg filter. So that's my fault. This wouldn't have happened if I'd had that there, because I would have had the 4 pipes. 3 can handle it, just about, and full bore. But on this, I reckon all 3 of them were blocked up. At least 2 of them fully blocked. The 3rd one maybe a bit. You live and learn, won't do that again. The only thing damage I might have done, my nice new UV light. But, well, no, it should have had water in it. It should still have had water hanging around in it, because the loop of pipe goes up and down. So with luck, that one's okay. But that one could have been on with no water in it, which I don't know if it will have damaged it. Won't know until I get it all fired up. Just got to keep going and get another. I'm at the bottom of the pipe, or more than the bottom of the pipe. I need a good 2.5 inches of water in here on this fast, and then I can go over to a trickle to finish refilling it. Not a full-on heart attack this morning, but enough of one. Not nice to come down and see a pond this low. So, went back again a bit later, getting there. I'm at a point now above water level where I expected it to stop if anything like this happened, and I still can't get the bottom drain to run. Turn the bottom drain on, it sucks the pipe dry. So I would have thought it would have cut out at this point with the original setup that I had, which I'll show you. Let's look at that a sec. So this was my original setup on the Vortex, just a centre exit pipe, and I've got half an inch of water above it, and it's still not quite enough to run the bottom drain yet. Needs to be, I reckon, probably an inch above it to be able to run it. So if it was sucking at this on this pipe, I think it would have crapped out around this level and not taken any more, which is 3.5, 4 inches down. But with that pipe on, as I was saying, it drops the level down another good 4 inches over that. So it managed to suck it through this pipe, even though the exit pipe was above in air. It managed to suck the water through it and lose it to that other level. Give it another 5 minutes, a few more bowlfuls, and I think I can switch over to that one. When I do, I'll move over to a trickle in then, or spray it in through the hose. It'll be a trickle of water, but I'll spray it in so it can gas off as well, just to doubly make sure. Fish still seem fine with it. Bloody mess in the pond, water's looking terrible now, bits all over the place. Shaking everything up here. I'm kicking myself on this. I thought about cutting them out the way the other day, and should have. Normally I've got a bit of filter wool wrapped around those outlets, which I change every sort of couple of days. And it's only a small piece, so I chuck a new piece on each time. But I took it off the other day thinking, yeah, I ain't worried about that for a bit. So I didn't put a bit on, and there wasn't a bit on there last night. And these huge lily leaves just sucked right across the pipes. So they're in for the snip in a bit. Hopefully I can get this bottom drain running on the next, in the next sort of half an hour. And then go over and trickle the last bit in. Is over there in the corner on that tray over there. I should be about the black level on that top of that plant pot that's banter that's in it. That's the level that the pond should be at. So this is what I've normally got around these pipes when I want to polish the water. Just stick a piece like that around. These really leaves. My fault, took it out yesterday. Should have had these lily leaves gone. Look, that couldn't happen. I need to get rid of anything here that's long enough to get to it. the third pipe here, this one, or fourth pipe, this one, is actually on a piece that I put underwater that runs around the back of the pond and to the outlet from the filter. I've got a 3-inch outlet on the filter and an 1.5 inches. So to give the river a little bit more of a head of water, I've just run a piece of pipe round, all push fitted together. I've got balls jammed in the end of the pieces there, T's down there to stop it through, but it gives a bit of pressure of water to run it through the river. It's a header. I wanted a bit of a better head of water. So there's another good excuse for using the filter floss all the time. You swap that out every couple of days. But I took that out, God knows why, I just thought, I'm going to bother with that for a bit. And this happened. If I'd have had that on there, the lilies couldn't have sucked against it and wouldn't have stopped it happening. Bummer, dude. I'm spraying in water now. It's a fairly slow flow. Won't have any chlorine in that, not with the 2 dechlorinators I've got on there. 2 of them strip it back. And looking at the vortex over there, I reckon I need another 1.5 inches of water, something like that. So I'm all but there. So at this speed, I don't know, give it 2-3 hours. But I'll film the wind up for this video after I've calmed myself down in a bit and got there. And then I'll tidy every blooming thing up and get it back and running. Not been a good morning, not a good way to start. A few hours later, I've just filmed the intro for the video. I'm now filming the outro for it. What a morning that was to start. It's taken me 4 or 5 hours down here to get it all back up and sorted. Put a load of water in with dechlorinator, and then I've had a trickle running in, and I'm back up to level and all running now. I'll show you around in a minute, but not a good way to start the day. Yeah, we're all back up to the levels. Cut the lilies back from around there. So the normal level for the water in that one's about 1 inch down from the top to 2 inches down from the top, depending on how blocked up the floss gets. But I'd never believe those lily pads would have blocked that up like that. We're back up to level here. That's by the vortex, and in the clips you'll see why it dropped more than I expected. When I was on that original pipe, it could only go down about 4 inches, then it started to suck air and the pump would cut out. But with the answer in there, it'll go down about 7 or 8 inches till it starts drawing air and then fail. I'll have a look on the CCTV footage when I get a chance and see roughly what time it cut out. But I don't think it was long before I came down in the morning. Well, I reckon about 600 gallons gone, 500 to 600 gallons. So it was a good water change, but not a nice thing to be doing down here at 5-6 o'clock in the morning. Not a nice thing to wake up to. But if anybody's got an idea for a small electric float switch that I can put on the vortex, so that if it drops 3 to 4 inches, I can get a warning somehow in the house for a baby alarm or some sort of system like that, to be appreciated. I old school down here, so I don't do much on the mobile phone. Got internet on it, but don't know how to use it, not on the phone. Pretty good on the computers, always work with computers, but don't do phones. So a Wi-Fi type thing probably be hard for me to set up. But if somebody's got some ideas on that, would much like to hear it. And as I think I said while I was going through all this panic, if anybody's had a similar experience on a gravity pond where it's drained itself down, dropped to that amount, I'd like to know about it. I know it can happen on a pump fed pond quite easily. Okay, so if you've had something similar happen, I'd like to know about it down in the comments. When I was pump fed years ago, I had a pipe burst overnight, one of the corrugated pipes split, and I half emptied the pond, a lot more water than I lost this morning. You can only lose so much on the gravity system, it'll only go until it can't go out the pipe on the vortex and then it stops. But I designed it and originally thought about it, oh, it can only go down to the pipe, but the vortex sits that much lower in the system. It took out 8 inches as opposed to the 4 inches I thought it might take out. But they're all sorted now. So if you enjoyed a little bit of drama, me rushing around in the morning down here at that time, oh, click a like and a subscribe down here if you haven't. There's always something happening down here. Koi ponding's a funny old thing. But from down here in Devon on this midweek special, I'll be ponding. I'll catch you on the next one.